Hello friends, in this video we are going to learn uh, 10th standard chapter Joan of Arc. This is a short drama written by George Bernard Shaw. Before that I request you like, share and subscribe my channel to get the notification of upcoming videos. First of all we have to see a little bit introduction of George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw 1856 to 1950 was an Irish playwright and critic. He wrote more than 60 plays during his lifetime, including major works such as Man and Superman, Pygmalion, and St. John. He was the leading dramatist of his time. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1925. This was the little bit introduction of George Bernard Shaw, and we have seen he got the Nobel Prize in Literature also. After that we have to see what is exactly the situation of this drama when the all characters were playing their roles, and that situation is described there. So we have to see that minutely. The war fought between England and France from 1337 to 1453 has come to be known as the Hundred Years' War. Joan was a peasant girl born in eastern France who led the French army to several victories during this war. This play begins at the time when all of northern France and some parts of the southwest were under foreign control. The English control some parts and the Burgundians control the others. The city of New Orleans, one of the few remaining French cities, was held by the English. The year is 1429. Captain Robert de Bondicourt, a military officer, is seated at the table. His steward stands facing him. So we have to remember that this war is called as Hundred Years War because this was begin nearby 1337 and this ended 1453. So that's why this we call it the Hundred Years War. And in this war, the French girl, Joan, she was a peasant girl, and because of her, France won many victories in that battle. After that, we have to see lastly when this all situation is created at that time, the playwright just want to say that many parts of French were under control of foreigners in that English and Burgundians. These two were the enemy of that time, and they were controlling the France area, France land. Okay, and this is the year when Joan was uh, the part of that battle, 1429. This is the year, and after that there are some persons or characters, we can say Captain Robert Bardicott. He is a military officer, and his steward means a keeper or the person who take care of so many things like this. Okay, next. From this the dialogues were started, and now we have to read first of all these dialogues, and after that we have to see little bit explanation of the dialogues also. Robert: I told you to throw the girl out. You have 50 armed officers and dozens of strong servants to carry out my orders. Are you afraid of her? Steward: No, sir, we are afraid of you, but she puts courage in us. She really doesn't seem to be afraid of anything. Perhaps you could frighten her, sir. Robert grimly. Grimly means seriously. Perhaps. Where is she now? Steward: Down in the courtyard, sir. Robert goes to the window and asks the soldiers to send the girl up. The girl enters. She is well built and strong, a girl of 17 to 18 years. The spears glare, neither frighten her nor stop her. She speaks confidently. Okay. A square means a person of high rank, like officer. Joan. Good morning, Captain Square. You are to give me a horse and armor and some soldiers and send me to the Dauphin. Okay, in these dialogues, we have to see that first, uh, the Captain Robert, he was thinking that she is a girl and he doesn't want that girl in the battlefield. Okay, because there are so many other soldiers and armed officers to follow the orders of Robert. But same time, Stewart told him that that girl has the power. She used to put the courage in other soldiers, and this is the most important because of uh, her courage and whatever she was doing at that time. That was the most important. Okay, and lastly we have seen Robert. Okay, Robert just want to where is that girl, and Stewart told him she is in courtyard, and Robert used to call that girl's up when that girl is she is a Joan, okay, and she's only 17 and 18 years old, well built and strong girl who has a much power to fight and much confidence. When she used to speak, we found there a much confidence, and that is the most important thing as a soldier. And when she entered, first of all, she used to salute as good morning, and next she started to speak very confidently, and she used to speak only the subjective things. Whatever she wants, she just asked to Robert. She want a horse and soldiers because she want to go Dauphin. Okay, Dauphin. We have to know. Okay, Dauphin, the oldest son of the King of France, the one who would become the king after his father. Okay, Dauphin means this is the son of king. Okay, now next dialogues. Robert, this girl is mad. Why didn't you tell me so? You blockhead. Blockhead means a stupid person, madman. Steward, sir, do not anger her. Give her what she wants. Robert, I shall send you back to your father with orders to put you under lock and key. John, you think you will square, but it won't happen that way. You said you would not see me, but here I am, Robert. So you are amusing that I will give you what you want, John. Yes, square, continuously busily. A horse amount of a horse will cost 16 francs. It is a big amount of money, but I can save it on the armor. I don't need beautiful armor made to my measure. I can find a soldier's armor that will fit me will enough. I shall not want many soldiers. The Dauphin will give me all I need to free Orleans. Robert shocked. To free Orleans? Jones simply. Yes, sir. 3 men will be enough for me, for you to send with me. Polly, Jack have promised to come with me. Okay, what we have to see in this page we have to see that according to Robert, John is mad girl as well as Stewart also mad because Stewart used to put a little bit trust uh, on John, and that's why Robert called Stewart also stupid according to Robert. But Stewart said that Robert should not anger on her, and whatever she wanted, he has to give to her. But Robert was not agree at that time, and Robert used to say that he will send her back to her father's house and put her under key and locksmith like Bandi Banana. Okay, but we know that John is a very confident girl, and she speak. You cannot do that because she has that courage to fight against the enemies. Okay, and after that we have seen John only want a horse, and that cost of that horse is only 16. This was the big amount, and after that she needed armor That is a protective thing that is used in a war. Okay, and some soldiers with her, and whatever the another things required to Joan to fight against the enemies, that all things she will get from the Dauphin, because the aim of Joan is only to make free to Orleans. And at the time, Robert became very shocked because the dream of Joan was to make free to Orleans, and from last 100 years these things was not happening, but this girl using such type of words, and that's what Robert was shocked. And John said she needed only 3 men and Robert has to send that. Okay, and Polly and Jack, these persons already promised her to come with her. Next, Robert, you mean Moise de Poligny? Moise means French word for Mr. John. Yes, sir, Jack will come willingly. He's a very kind gentleman and gives me money to give to the poor. I think John Godsey will come, and Dick the archer and the servants, John of Horncourt and Julian. There will be no trouble for you, Square. I have arranged it all. You have only to give the order. Steward to Robert to Steward. Is this true about Monsieur de Poligny? Steward eagerly. Yes, sir. And about Monsieur de Maids too. They both want to go with her. Robert goes to the window and shouts into the courtyard. Said Monsieur de Poligny to me, will you? Okay, in this paragraph, we have to say that when John told about Polanyi, because Polanyi willingly ready to come with John at that time, Robert became surprised and he said he can't believe, because Polanyi was a great warrior and soldier and he was ready to come with John. This was a surprise thing for Robert. And after that, John used to say about Jack or Square Jack, and she used to say some qualities of Jack was a very gentleman because he gave some money to give the poor, as well as another persons also ready to come with John, and that are John Godsev, Dick the Archer, and their servants. Okay, and John's Honeycutt and Julian. Okay, there are so many people who are ready to come with John, because we know that John is a very courageous girl and she put the courage in another persons also, and that's why. Means so in short, John is the only girl who used to motivate the other soldiers, and that's why the other people are following her, and they are ready to go with her. And at that time, Robert used to call Polanyi in front of him, and Stewart said, not only Polanyi, but the Monsieur de Metz also ready to go with John at that time. And Robert goes to window and shouts, because this whatever uh, was happening there, that all things were unknown to Robert. Next, he turns to John, get out and wait in the yard. Okay, after that we have to see Robert used to give the order to John to go from here and wait in the yard. John, smiling brightly at him, right square, she goes out. Robert to the steward, go with her, stay within call and keep your eyes on her. I shall have her up here again. The steward retreated hastily. Bertrand de Poulengy, a French guard, entered, salutes, and stands waiting. Retreats hastily, it means moves away in a hurry. जल्दी जल्दी में चले जाना. Robert. She says you, Jack, and Dick have offered to go with her. What for do you take her crazy idea of going to the Dauphin seriously? Pollingy, slowly. There is something about her. It may be worth trying. Robert. Oh, come on, Polly. You must be out of your mind. Out of your mind to be crazy. Polangi, unmoved. What is wrong with it? The dauphin is in Chinon. Chinon, it means one of the cities in France where royal families resided during the Hundred Years' War. The dauphin took refuge in Chinon. चिनोन एक प्लेस है जहाँ पे रॉयल फैमिलीज किंग की फैमिलीज रहती थी उस 100 years के टाइम में जहाँ पे उन्होंने पनाह ली थी like a rat in a corner except that he won't fight the English will take our lands he will not be able to stop them. Robert, he beat the English the years before last at Montagues. I was with him. Polanyi, but this man a coward and now he can't work miracles, and I tell you that nothing can save our side now but a miracle. Okay, in this paragraph, we have to see that Robert gave to order to John to go out from that place, and with smile, John used to go out, and after that, Robert used to speak with a steward. Okay, and steward, and he gave order to steward to go with John, and after that, we have to see Robert used to speak with Jack and Dick, and according to Robert, we know that Joan is a crazy girl, according to Robert. But we know that what is the reality, and Robert just want to say, John and Dick, you don't go with her because she has much crazy ideas. Okay, and Pauling say, no, she is a very bright and clever girl as well as there is something in her because she used to put the courage in another person and that's why the people are ready to go with Joan. And after that, Pauling used to say about the Dauphin also because according to him, Dauphin is like a rat who used to save his own life and he used to hide himself in a corner of the house. Like, okay, means he just made the comparison between the Dauphin and rat. Like they are both similar. Okay, because Dauphin used to living in Chinon to save the family and himself. Okay, and this is not that thing which is good for the nation. And after that, Robert used to say that, okay, whatever you are talking about the dolphin means the comparison made like rat. Robert was not agree with that, and Robert used to say, before some years we made the victory on English also. Okay, but now after that calling is now this person is a coward person, very frightened person, Darpok. And if you want to save our nation, our country, only the miracle is there. And we know that miracle can't happen. What if you want to make free our nation? We have to fight. These things are told by Paulingi to Robert. Next, Robert. Miracles are all right, Polly. The only difficult about them is that they won't happen nowadays. Paulingi. I used to think so. I am not so sure now. There is something about her. I think the girl herself is a bit of a miracle. Anyhow, this is our last chance. Let's see what she can do, Robert. Wavering. Wavering means hesitating. You really think that? Calling it turning. Is there anything else left for us to think? Let's take a chance. Her words have put fire into me. Uh, have put fire into me. It means having inspired and motivated, Robert giving up. Wow, you are as mad as she is. Okay, in this page, we have to know that we know that according to Robert, also miracles are not there. Okay, miracles are not happening there. And after that, Paul used to say that this is the time we have to believe on Joan, because we know that miracles are not there, and this is the best chance we have to support Joan, because she used to put the courage in other soldiers. And lastly, Robert became a little bit convinced, not a whole, but a little bit he is convinced. And after that, Paul used to say that there is something, and we have to take this chance, because when John used to speak any person at that time, that person automatically become inspired. And once again, Robert, it was said that you are as mad as John. Next, Polly. Pollingi, obstinately. Obstinately, it means in a stubborn and firm manner. It means very strongly. Pollingi said, "We want a few mad people now. See where the same ones have landed us." Robert, I feel like a fool. Still, if you feel sure, Kolengi, I feel sure enough to take her to Chinon unless you stop me. Robert, do you think I ought to have another talk with her? Kolengi, going to the window. Yes, John, come up. John enters, Kolengi, gravely. Gravely means seriously. Be seated, John. Robert, what is your name? John. They always called me Jenny and Lauren. Here in France, I am Joan. The soldiers call me the maid. Robert, how old are you? Joan, 17. So, they tell me it might be 19. I don't remember. Okay, in this paragraph, in this page, we have to know that uh, the dialogues which are delivered by Polly, Robert, and Joan. Okay, when Robert used to speak, okay, he feel like a stupid person about himself. Okay, and Polly, what he want to say? If some peoples are mad for to do something for the nation, only they need such type of mad persons who are ready to sacrifice all things for the nation. And Paulingi said, I feel so enough to take her to Chinon unless you stop to them. And lastly, we have to know that when John entered in front of Paulingi and Robert, Robert once again used to her about names, and she gives some the different mannering answers. Okay, uh, Jenny, it is her name, but in France, soldiers calling her maid. Okay, such type of things are there, and she's 17 years old, but she didn't remember that 17 or 19. Okay, these things we have to know about this page. Robert, I suppose you think rising a siege is as easy as chasing a cow out of a meadow. You think soldiering is anybody's job, John. I don't think it can be very difficult if God is on your side. Robert, grimly. Have you ever seen English soldiers fighting? Have you ever seen them plundering? Plundering, it means looting, loot part karna. Burning, turning countryside into desert. Have you heard no tales of the prince who is the devil himself of all the English kings of king's father, John? You do not understand square. Our soldiers are always beaten because they are fighting only to save. They are fighting only to save their skin, and shortest way to save our skin is to run away. But I will teach them all to fight for France. Then they will drive the soldiers before them like sheep. You and Polly will live to see the day when there will not be a single English soldier on the soil of France. Okay, on this page, by this dialogue, we can see, according to Robert, okay, uh, to be a soldier is not a easy task or is not anybody's job, like chasing a cow in a meadow. And John say it. I don't think it is difficult because if the God is in our side, then everything is okay. And then Robert used to say that uh, you have not seen how the English soldiers are making plundering and burning, and they are turning the whole countryside into desert. Okay. In short, Robert just wants to show how the devils and very cruel people of English. Okay, according to him, they are devils, and when they are fighting at the time, they are just making the disasters. And after that, Joan used to say that, according to Joan, our soldiers are fighting only to save their lives. They are not fighting for the nation. And Joan used to say that when she became the captain of that soldiers, she used to put the fire into them, and she will teach them how to fight for the nation, not for our life. When we fight for the nation with full dedication, and this is the thing, when we fight at the time, there will be no any English soldier on the land. Such type of motivating words are used by Joan in front of Rob. Next, Robert to Polanyi. This may all be nonsense, Polly, but the troops might just be inspired by it, though nothing that we say seems to put any fire into them. Even the Dauphin might believe it, and if she can put some fire into him, she can put into anybody. Robert, turning to John. Now you listen to me and don't cut in before I have time to think. Your orders are that you are to go to Chinon under the escort of this gentleman and three of his friends. John, radiant, clasping her hands. Oh, thank you, Square, Polly. How is she to get into the royal presence? Okay, in this passage, we have to know that when John used to speak with Robert at that time, Robert also became convinced because when she told about our soldiers are only fighting to save their lives, their life. Okay, at that time, Robert also realized that the way of fighting a French army is not in a perfect manner, and that's why if John used to put the little bit fire in him, then she can do anything. And such type of motivation she has to put in front of our Dauphin, and this may be helpful to make free to France or their nation. And after that, Robert say, now the all things are uh, given to Joan, and the orders also given, but when she want to go at that time, the escorts uh, or three other friends will be with her. Escort means like a bodyguard. Okay, means Robert used to give some people with Joan when she want to go to Chinon to meet a Dauphin. It means now Robert is totally convinced because she used to put the fire in what she inspired to Robert, and that's why Robert became ready to give whatever she wanted at that time. And lastly, we have to see Robert said thank you, and Polly says, how is she to get into the royal presence? Okay, Robert, I don't know how did she get into my presence. I will send her to Chinon and she can say I sent her, then let come what may, I can do no more. Let come what may, it means let anything happen, John. And the dress, I may have a soldier's dress wear, Robert. Take what you please. I will. I wash my hands of it. Wash one's hand. It means not take any responsibility for it. It means अपनी responsibility से हाथ धो लेना. John, widely excited by her success, come Polly. She dashes out. Robert, shaking Polly's hand. Goodbye, old man. I am taking a big chance. Few other men would have done it, but as you say, there is something about her, Polly. Yes, there is something about her. Goodbye. Okay, in this passage, we can see when Robert used to give the order to John to go with some escort or some bodyguards and some friends to meet Dauphin. Okay, and after that, Robert say, "You are the responsible. Whatever you want to do, you can do that. I am taking off my all responsibilities." Okay, and then Jonas and the dress, and she also said she will use the dress of another soldiers because she doesn't want the perfect uniform or armors. Okay, whatever available she used to use there. And Robert said that if something is happened there, he is not responsible for that all things. And John became very happy because she got the success at the end to take the permission or to take the order from Robert. And Robert lastly uh, say, says goodbye to Paulingi. And lastly, we have to know that Robert said he also required such type of mad persons who are mad only about the nation or who are so much patriotic people. Such type of people Robert required there, and Polly say thank you, goodbye, goodbye. In this way, this play ended here. So, what is exactly in this play? In this play, we have to see how Joan, a peasant girl, is much strong, or wow, how she was dedicated for the nation. Or by this play we can see the patriotism of her about the nation. Okay, age, gender, these things are not important. If we have that power, we have that motivation, then we can do anything. So in this way this play ends here. Thank you for watching my video. Please like, share and subscribe my channel to get the notification of upcoming videos. Thank you.